Hey guys, today I'm gonna show you what I've been doing in my coloring books for the past 3 months. So the last time I showed you my progress in my coloring books in April, and today I'm gonna show you all the pages I did in May, June, July, and most part of August. Though I think that I will be able to finish only one page for the August, and I will do completely separate video for this because it's a huge project. But today I'm gonna show you all the pages I've done, and it's a lot. It's more than I'm usually showing you. Usually I show you 4 pages per month. And I'm gonna start with a page that I finished in May. It was in Forest Girl book, and I think in May I did only one page. I was able to finish only one page. I started a new job. I'm changing careers, so I worked in marketing before. I was a manager in marketing, a head of a marketing department, and now I'm changing career completely. I'm back to hairdressing. So before I came to marketing, I was a braider. It doesn't matter. No one very interested in it. You're here to see my coloring pages. But yeah, now I'm back in hairdressing, and I work as a hairdresser assistant. And I started my job in May, and I didn't have time to color almost at all. Also, we moved back in our house, so this is my table. Finally, I'm not in some hotel filming it. I'm in my actual house, and I can't express how glad I am to be here. Finally, it was 6 months living in hotels because of the water leak on the first floor. So insurance company made the repairs for our not first floor, ground floor. And it took 6 months. Yeah, I know, crazy. So this is why I have only one page to show you for May, and it's this one. I started it with watercolors for background, and then I did a lot of watercolors work on the girl itself, and then finish it with pencils. I wanted to have this like sans reliefs effect when you're seeing like patches of light on the ground, but somewhere in the middle of working on this page I just chickened out because it wasn't looking very good, and I just dropped the idea and went in completely different direction. I still like this page. I think it's quite cute, and girl is very relaxed, and I like the color palette a lot. I don't think that I will show every second page, every next page in like order I was coloring it, because I honestly don't remember, but I can just show you another page that I'm working on now. So it's a whip in this book, so I will be just showing all the pages in one book. I think it will be, oh yeah, I did also this one. This one I finished, I think, last month in July, and it's dedicated to my work. So I have to wear all black uniform in my work, and I also had my hair colored a long time ago, like a few years ago, and it was colored in violet, but then it went, during the time it went to purple, and I was just growing my hair out to cut it off. So now I have a haircut and my hair don't look like this, but at the time I was starting toying with the idea of this page, they looked like this. So this is like my first days at work. I colored myself to capture this memory. And now I'm working on this page. I knew that I wanted to be a sea in the window and not mountains, as an example, because when I watched Ponyo cartoon animated movie by Miyazaki, by Ghibli Studio, I was so impressed with these huge waves, like a tsunami waves outside, that was scary but also very beautiful. and I wanted to capture it on this picture. And recently my boyfriend and I was rewatching, he was watching for the first time, all the Narnia Chronicles, Chronicles of the Narnia movies, all 3 of them. And the last one was about travel on a ship. And I was so inspired by a few scenes in this movie. Like, the movie itself is not very good, at my opinion. I really like the first part, the original Narnia Chronicles, but I don't really like the second or the third one. But the color palette in this movie was great in the last scenes, where they standing before this huge wall of water, and they're standing here with Aslan, and the color palette of the scene was very beautiful, and I wanted to capture it on this page. So yeah, I like how it's going on, but for some reason I wasn't very inspired to color it any longer, so it's just WIP, but eventually I will finish it. So in this book I did 1 page, I guess, and I maybe started another WIP. The page that I finished was this one. I think I showed you this as a WIP in April. I don't really like this page, but at least it finished. I think color palette is very unusual for me, and also I worked only with watercolors on this page. I used a little bit of pencils to make shadows, and I regret this decision. And also I used white gel pen, but yeah, at least it's done. I also have another WIP in this book. I don't know whether you saw it already or not, but it's this one. I'm working with acrylics on this page, and one day it will be finished. I really like the color palette, and I think that the end result will be like better than what I already showed you. But yeah, it's not like I'm coloring this book on purpose. It's just sometimes I need some mindless coloring, and this is the time when I'm choosing this book. Next one. I did 2 pages in this book during this time. This one is a very old one. This was the first one I did in this book. And the second one, I did this one. It's Sleeping Beauty, obviously. I really liked the witch on this page, and I really wanted to color her, and the princess was just there. I think if I would color it from like now, I would not use watercolors on this paper. It's like plastic. This paper is like plastic. Even acrylics, I can rip them from the paper. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really like coloring on plastic. So I hate working with pencils on this paper. The only pencil that was like okay to work with on this paper was Giotto Stilnova, surprisingly. Not my Polychromasis, not Prismacolors, Giotto Stilnova. They were okay, but they were not good. So I would never color in this book with pencils, at least on these pages. I feel like there are some pages that have different texture, and probably they were like designed for coloring pencils. For example, this one, you see the line here is very different. Like there it's more thick, and here is very thin, and this paper feel a bit different. I don't know, more texturized. So maybe this one will be okay for pencils, but definitely not this one. I will never do this again. Another page that I finished here, it was this one. It looked very different. I completely redraw the whole background. So it was this woman on this page with these flowers, and I decided that I will turn her into the character from Warbreaker book by Brandon Sanderson. And if you read this book, you probably can guess who is this character, but I don't know whether it will be a spoiler or not. It's like it's revealed in the first 30% of the book, I guess. But anyway, I won't tell you. But the main magic system of this universe is based on breath. So every person in the beginning of their life have one breath, and you can give your breath to another person, and you can create magic using breath. So this is a scene where a character like taking a lot of breath from another person, and they supposed to be in iridescent colors. I tried to capture it with acrylics. I don't know whether I succeed or not, but at least it's like accurate, book accurate. So yeah, I covered it all completely with acrylics. Okay, and also I have WIP in this book. It's this one. This is from another book by Brandon Sanderson. It's from Stormlight Archive, from the first book, which is called The Way of Kings. And it also made with acrylics. I'm picturing another character here, and I don't think that I want to reveal which character that is, but maybe, yeah, you will definitely guess if you read the book. But I don't want to spoil the book ending for you. So yeah, this is another page I'm working on. And next one, here I will show you the project that I worked on for 5 months. Yes, it was 5 or 6 months, something like this. The butterflies, the legendary butterflies. So I finished it. I know a lot of you watched my small like color alone or like coloring lesson, which I based on this butterfly, and yeah, now it's finished. So this wing was the first one I colored, and this one was the last one. And I think you can see the difference between this coloring and this coloring. And also I really speed up at the end. So this wing I colored in like 3 days. Yeah, it was very fast. But yeah, you can see all the details. I'm really proud of this project. I think it turned out very cool, and I don't know what to say. What people say when they are showing like 150 hours of their work done, I don't know. I don't know what I was supposed to say in this situation. I like this page. I already, of course, I already sprayed it with acrylic like spray to preserve the colors, and so pencils won't just disappear into the dust. And now I'm working on a next page in this book. It's this one. I did background with watercolors. This paper is awful for watercolors, so I used medium for acrylic paints to be able actually to watercolor here, and I still got a little bit of bleed through, but that's okay because this page I plan to do like very dark. But this page I will dedicate to Handmaid's Tale. I watched the whole 6 seasons of the show in like 5 days or something like this. It was crazy fast, and I liked it a lot, especially the first 2 seasons. The third one was a bit worse, but anyway. But for the whole show, I was really captivated by characters, because world building at some point stopped making sense at all, and everything is just so chaotic and like stupid a lot of the times, but characters were had their arcs and had their resolution in the end. And I think everyone got what they deserve in the end. So I will dedicate this page to Handmaid's Tale. I will use colors from Handmaid's Tale TV show. I will do Black Sea, like Black Ocean, like Commander's outfit. If you watch The Handmaid's Tale, it will make more sense to you, of course. I will use red for this tentacle as a representation of handmaids, and the veil will be blue as a representation, like tail, as a representation of wives. So while wives and handmaids are struggling against each other, fighting against each other, they are both actually living in the ocean, a very cruel place which was created by the commanders, the men in this show. So this is my plan for this page, and I was very inspired when I started it, and I wanted to listen to the audiobook of like the book that the show was based on, but now I'm working on a completely different project, but I will be back to this page eventually. So the last one is just a whip. I have no finished pages in this book. I think I showed you, this was the last one I finished. It was in April and it was awful. Watercolors behave awful on this page, sorry. So I have this whip. I'm working completely with pencils on it, and I'm not really happy with how I approached the textures of the house. I was a bit tired, and I should probably like do the brick texture on it, but I just haven't enough inspiration for it, so I decided to just take one step back and finish some other time. But their inspiration for this page I'm getting from Thomas Kinkade paintings. He was a very interested man, extremely talented salesman, mildly talented painter. Like, I like his works, but they were so heavily commercialized that I can't now perceive them as art. So I can only see them as this commercial marketing tool he used to make him more money. But anyway, completely different story. But yeah, I still want to give this man justice by dedicating one of my pages to his art. And I choose this one. Alright, so now let's take a little break from all the finished pages, and I will show you my 2 new books. I want to eventually finish all my coloring books, so I decided that I won't buy more than 2 in a year, because I do 4 pages per month most of the times, and like this I will be able to finish like 48 pages per year. So most coloring books have about like 40, 50, 60 pages in them. So I think that if I will buy no more than 2 books per year, my coloring book collections won't grow too fast. So yeah, this is why I bought only 2 books. So this is Dreamland by Tomislav Tomic. And I don't know, this book is very intimidating, but it's so beautiful. And I think like it was out of print for so long, and the only way I could bought it was actually through some Croatia website. So it cost, the book itself cost like maybe 15 euros or something like this, but the delivery was insane. Posting, I paid something like £35. So this is a very expensive book, but only because of the posting. But I like it so much. Just I wasn't able to get over it. I wanted, like any Tomislav Tomic book would work, either Fairyland, Fairy Dream or something like this, Fairyland, or this one, Dreamland. I would agree to any of them. And I got this one, and I have absolutely no regrets. As you can see, I have some plans for this book. I really will be inspired to start it someday. I just have no time recently. But yeah, it's gorgeous book, absolutely gorgeous book. And another one was this one, completely different story. I just saw it on eBay for £5, and I wasn't sure that I actually want to buy this book, but for £5, come on, of course I want this book. And it's also a gorgeous book. It's also very intimidating, and I saw so many beautiful versions of pages here. And as you know, I'm not a huge fan of buying like very widespread books that everyone is coloring. I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but I'm not. I prefer something like more niche, because when I see a lot of different versions of pages, I sometimes struggle to come out with the idea of my own. So this is why I was skeptical about buying this book, but I have no regrets. It's an amazing book, and I have 2 pages that I am willing to start. The first one is this. I think it's very beautiful, and I can do very beautiful color palette for it. And the second one is this one. I have the exact color palette in mind, and it will be absolutely amazing if I will be able to pull this out in the right way. So yeah, I think you know both of these books. They are quite popular, and I like them both, and I have no regrets buying them. So this is my whole video. Yeah, to be an actual whole video, I need to add something else to it, and it's this one. I also bought a Derwent drawing pencil. I had no Derwent drawing pencils before, and I bought the black one for one particular project that I will show you in a minute. But yeah, I wanted to try them, and I bought the black one, and I was very satisfied, and I think eventually I will have a set of Derwent drawings pencils. Let's continue. The next book, this one here. I had the whip that I showed you, and I finished it. It took me a while, but I made it. It's this one. I started it with watercolors. I just mapped colors with watercolors, and then I finished it with acrylics. First I worked on the background, then I did this baby Yoda, Grogu, the name of the character, and also I then finished with Mandalorian, and the ship was the last one, and you can see that it's a bit more roughly done. It's not so refined, but I think it worked because like it's on the background, so it should not have as much details as something on the foreground. This was the reasoning for me to like leaving it till the end. And I did the background first because I didn't want to then like mess up the characters with the background colors. So overall, I'm quite proud with this work. I think it turns out great, and I'm very satisfied that it's finished. So it's the 3rd page in this book that I finished. I also did this one. If you're new to my channel, I will just show you them quickly because this is the most intimidating book I have. And I also did this one. So now I'm working on this one, but as you can see, there is like nothing done on it except these squares. So I copied the line to a canvas, and I'm actually painting it with oils. So this is what I'm doing. And I will show it to you in a different video. Just a little bit of intrigue. So in this book, I finished a double page spread, this one. I don't know whether I showed you as a whip, whether I showed this page as a whip, because I started it in May, I think. Yes, I started it in May for Mermaid, and I finished it in July. It's a huge page. Like you see, this is my palms. This book is huge. The double page spreads here are insane. but I finished it. I'm very proud of how my pearls turns out and the shell itself, and I think that main characters here and this turtle are like exceptionally well done. I'm not very fond of background, and also I completely messed up with the frame because I planned it with watercolors. I just added watercolors to it, color to this frame, and then when I started to actually color the piece, I was like, oh my gosh, it will be so bright with this frame as well. So I didn't want to add shadows to this frame because it will just, I don't know, overstimulate, and I decided to leave it like plain watercolors. I also tried to add some metallic shimmer to it, but I didn't really like the result, so I stopped. Like, I have this one and this one, these two elements with shimmer, and the rest of it is just, yeah, you see when the sun is not hitting it, they are very dark, and I didn't like this effect. But yeah, I still like this page. I think it looked very cool. And another one I did here was, where is it? This one. This one. Yeah. Nothing special about this page. I think I a little bit messed up the background again. I don't know, but the rest of it was watercolors and pencils on top, except for the frame. Frame is acrylics, and I also will be doing the same frame here, and I think I will keep the color palette here, the same color palette as I did here. So, and I like this like golden frame. This is non-metallic metal, so it's just pencils, but it looks like very shiny. I like this effect a lot. So yeah, background, not a huge fan. The rest of it, color palette and everything, I think looks very cute. Okay, this is it for this book, I think so. Yeah, I think the rest of it you saw. Yeah, the rest of it you saw. Okay, let's move on to the Wild Summer, Mythographic Wild Summer. This was a book that I started. I had no pages done in this book before, and I did 2 pages. So the first one was this one. I did the mushroom first. I did the background first. Then I tried to do the clouds, but the only black pencil that I owned was Polychromos, and it was too, like, I don't know, on this paper, I don't really like working with Polychromos, honestly. They are a bit too hard for this paper, I guess. So softer pencils work better. And this is why I ordered Derwent Drawing Black, and I waited for it. And while I was waiting, I continued with mushrooms, and I made mushrooms. And then the pencil arrived. I finished with clouds. And then I was like, pink axolotls will look very weird in its surroundings. But I continued nevertheless. So I then colored these trees. I don't know what it is. I assume that it's like trees. And then I did the axolotls. Overall, I think the page is very bright. It's I don't know whether it's my style or not. I don't feel like it is, because it's a bit too oversaturated, I don't know, but I like it anyway. And the second page in this book that I finished was this one. I started it with watercolors, then I continued to work on it with pencils and finished it with acrylics. I really like how the water came out. Very beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of the sky though. Like, I added these clouds. There were no clouds here, but I think this rainbow is a little bit and also I feel like I went too dark with clouds. They were the first thing that I started to color on this page, and probably I should just left them for later on because they are like extremely bright, and I don't think that like they suit this page. But on the other hand, it looks somewhat cohesive, so I'm like, I don't know, I'm on the fence with this one. What do you think? What do you think about this page? Okay, moving to the next one. It's Beauties and Beasties. In these two books I don't color anything, didn't color anything, so like they're just there. This one I started, and the first, like, I had no finished pages in this book before, and I started it, and this one was what I did. It's, for the background, all watercolors, and for the creature I used watercolors for initial layer, and then added a little bit of contrast with pencils. But honestly, it was like, I don't know, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and the page was finished. So it was very, very fast process and very enjoyable as well. I really enjoyed it, and I like the end result. It's like this rainy, foggy forest, and this creature which is traveling through this forest. Like the vibe. Alright, so this was it. All my WIPs and finished pages in like 3-4 whatever months. The only thing that I still didn't show you is my oil WIP, and I think I will show you. Okay, so it's huge and it's not finished. So I only mapped out the colors, and now it's drying time for this one because I wanted to dry to do the second layer. So now it's just hanging out, drying, so I could finish it. I think the most finished piece now is this wing, and probably this one. I did an orange on the underpainting, and also when I was transferring the sketch, I used too bright of a pencil, so I need the second layer to cover all the lines as well. Like, we are struggling with lines in coloring books to cover them, and then I have an empty canvas on which I can do no lines at all, for example, or do them in a very, very soft tone, and I decided to do them very bright to be struggling to cover them. Genius. But anyway, so this is my current project. I hope to finish it till the 1st of September, but it's very optimistic of me. This is it, all my finished pages and all my work in progress. I was really glad to be able to do this video. I hope you guys enjoyed your coloring time this summer, and I hope I will be able to be back in YouTube to do more videos for you. And if you have some requests what you want me to do on camera, or you want me to finish one of my WIPs I showed you now, or maybe you want me to, I don't know, do something in the books that I showed you, like for example, if you have Wild Summer book and you want me to finish some illustration, I will try. So yeah, thank you for joining me today, and I wish you a very, very good coloring time in your future. So bye bye.